What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about a recent discussion that I had with some friends of mine. We were talking about who's the better coach. Like, which one of these coaches, in your opinion, is the GOAT? Is it Andy Reid or is it Bill Belichick? Right now, I always thought that Andy Reid was a better coach. Um, even before Bill Belichick, even before Bill Belichick left uh New England and he started to and he started his another coaching career down in North Carolina, right? I always thought it was Andy Reid. But I think this discussion is coming back up more because of people kind of see Bill Belichick in a new light because he's not having any success down at North Carolina, number one. And then some of the, like what's going on with Bill Belichick dating, this young lady. People think that, Bill Belichick is distracted now because he's dating this young lady and she's being seen all over the place and she's basically taking control and really running. It seems like she's running Bill Belichick, right? But even before all that, I always felt like Andy Reid was the better coach. And the reason I thought that Andy Reid was the better coach was because of his career when he was with the Eagles, right? He had Donovan McNabb, which I thought Donovan McNabb was a really good quarterback. He had Michael Vick. I thought Michael Vick was a really good quarterback. And he was able to, he had a pretty successful career. In my opinion, he still had a Hall of Fame type career when he was with the Eagles, right? The only thing with the Eagles is he just couldn't get over the hump and win that big one. He went to the Super Bowl. When he went to the Super Bowl with the Eagles, he took Donovan McNabb. And Donovan McNabb people kind of say that Donovan McNabb choked in that game. I don't know. That's beside the point. But Andy Reid was able to get Donovan McNabb and the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl, and like I said, they had a lot of success in Philly, even though they didn't win the big game, right? Now, if you look at Bill Belichick, his career before Tom Brady and his career after Tom Brady, he didn't have a whole lot of success. When he was at Cleveland, his record was less than 500. I'm trying to think if I got the stats right here. But when he was at Cleveland, Bill Belichick record was less than 500, right? Then when he went to New England, they had some success, moderately successful before before Tom Brady came there and went on a tear like he did, right? But his success wasn't without Tom Brady, it just wasn't the same, you know. And to me, Tom Brady was a big part of Bill Belichick's his success. Let me see if I could find those stats of what his record was, right? But he didn't have a lot of success without Tom Brady. And then, once Tom Brady left again and went down to Tampa Bay, Tom Brady was able to win a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. That really right there proved to me that Tom Brady was more so of it was more so of what was driving that engine, like that success. Now, don't get me wrong, like I think Tom Brady probably would not like if Tom Brady probably wouldn't have had the career he had if it wasn't for a coach like Bill Belichick. But definitely, I think that Bill Belichick benefited more from that relationship than Tom did. And proof of it is, like I said, the record before and after. Tom left he left the Patriots and he won a Super Bowl. Some people say, well, the team that Tom Brady went to was stacked. And I can't say it was stacked because you still have to, like if you got a stacked team and you don't have a good quarterback, you're not going nowhere. I don't care how stacked the team is. You got to have a good quarterback, good coach. You got to have everything in place, right? And Tom did that. Bill Belichick, when he didn't have Tom Brady, he couldn't put together a team like that. He wasn't going to go on a string of like Bill Belichick record without Tom Brady is nowhere near as impressive as Andy Reid record is without Patrick Mahomes. So if you take Patrick Mahomes away from Andy Reid and you take Tom Brady from Bill Belichick, Bill Belichick would not have even been in. He wouldn't have even been a coach for as long as Andy Reid because he wasn't winning without without a superstar quarterback, without a franchise quarterback. He just wasn't doing it. He was less than impressive. Then he hit pay dirt with Tom Brady, but other than that, it wasn't. So that's a good way to look at it too, like comparing the two, both their careers without their franchise quarterbacks. So now that Andy Reid has a franchise quarterback and Patrick Mahomes, I think they've been to 3 Super Bowls or 4 Super Bowls and won 3, and if now people probably say that Andy Reid need to win 3 more Super Bowls, which in my opinion is that's nonsense. You know what I mean? In order for him to overtake that GOAT spot, because it's all about winning in whatever circumstance that you're in, whatever your situation is, being able to overcome that circumstance. And that's what Andy Reid did. He did it in Philadelphia, and he is really going above and beyond in Kansas City. So, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not basing my decision. I've been thought that Andy Reid was the best. Even before this situation with Coach Belichick and what's going on with him in North Carolina, and the distraction that this young lady is causing him in North Carolina, I always thought it was Andy Reid. I always knew that Tom Brady was the driving force in Bill Belichick's his success. Not only did I know that, but who's the owner? Kraft. He knew that. That's why he fought to keep this situation in New England together for as long as he could, because he knew that Bill Belichick a few times wanted to let Tom Brady go because he thought that he was, I don't know what it is about people's ego. Success is fragile, and people just think that they want to give themselves too much credit, but they don't want to take the blame. Bill Belichick wanted to get rid of, let Tom Brady go way earlier than what he did. He wanted to move on and bring other quarterbacks in. What was the guy? Garoppolo, and I think it was another quarterback that Bill Belichick wanted to start grooming and bring in to eventually take Tom Brady's place. But Robert Kraft wouldn't allow that to happen, until the very end when Tom Brady, I guess he agreed that it was time for him to leave, and then he went to Tampa Bay. But Bill Belichick has a reputation of wanting to let people go sooner. He don't want to see you fall off the cliff. He want to let you go before you fall off the cliff. That way their team can get get something in return for you, right? While you're still valuable. And that he was able to do that again because he had Tom Brady, had a great quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong. Defense, he's a defensive specialist, right? And his defenses were good, and his defenses, held things down for Tom Brady. But that's part of it. You know what I mean? You got to have great defense, special team, and offense. You got to have all three clicking at the same time. So he did his part as a head coach, but Andy Reid did this without franchise quarterbacks, and now you see what Andy Reid can do with a franchise quarterback. And I'm not even a Kansas City Chief fan. I like Andy Reid. I just acknowledge the fact that Andy Reid is just a great coach. I think he is the better coach. And even in this era of football that we're playing in now, whereas though you got so many people coming in and out of your organization, that just goes to show that that Andy Reid just knows how to he know how to manage people. He know how to spot talent. And because the Kansas City Chiefs they've been pretty good for a while now. And they're gonna have their ups and downs, but I think that Andy Reid will be able to keep that train moving for Kansas City. So I want to know, how do you all feel though? Do you feel like Andy Reid is a better coach, or do you feel like Bill Belichick is a better coach? And just leave a message. Tell me why you think, what your choice is, which one of these coaches is the best one. But with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, like I said, leave a message and I'll check you all out on the next video. Peace.